shit to get rid of your ass. You want to pervert your genes. That's because there's too much shit on the television. You're looking at you're in that virtual reality shit. But as I'm saying, the orientation changes when you destroy the component that maintains the instinct in the body. The sisters don't want to feel like that. And then the sisters now don't want to nurse. Because it's not in them to feel like they want to nurse. Get the bottom. They don't want to do the things that nurture. They don't feel the nurturing. It's not their fault. This is the shit that they've been getting to component to change them. To change their nature. To change you brothers into faggots.
Break it down.
You got to stop. You got to think about how it is it's being done, because it ain't natural for nobody, like brothers say, want to seek out the asshole of another man. How the fuck could you look at the asshole of a hairy ass man and say I'm in love? We are losing our instincts. And they are purposefully being bred out of us. That's right. This is not, it's really out there, but you can sit down and think about that shit for a while. Because I have a lot of my soldiers looking out for all of the sisters and brothers who are out of their fucking mind, or really out of their instincts. There's no more out of your mind anymore. You're out of your instincts. You have gone out of your instincts. And the sisters, I know it's cold, but you got to get out the pants and start wrapping your legs. Because them pants also keep you acting in certain ways. I know, you don't want to hear it. I just got to say what I know. It's got to stop, because the orientation for the man is, the reason why men wear clothes that are like we are, to wear the pants to dispel heat. Pants are made to dispel heat, not to contain heat. Men create heat better than women. That's our nature. Our lungs are larger, so we can break down oxygen faster. Everything about us is larger because of the work that we have to do for you. Now the society is so fucked up and topsy-turvy, based upon this beasthood, we don't realize that the work we do signifies the instinct. Now once you start doing certain works, your body has to conform to the trauma. When it conforms to the trauma, it changes. And every now and then, it falls back, of course. But there's always this perverse action that trains the genes to act a certain way and react a certain way. Now, the best way for you to mind control anybody is to control the mind from within. All you have to do is to program a new species. You don't even have to get to, because imagine you trying to mind control all these motherfuckers, 10 million motherfuckers. You can't mind control everybody. You got to set the structures to such a pace and such a way that the mind control becomes a genetic thing. That it now becomes an instinct rather than a programmed behavior. Now you think about that shit, and I'm going to get you more on it when we go down to, when we all end up and I see you down in Atlanta. But we don't get to the metaphysics. Right now we're just dealing with the physics. Now, glutamic acid itself, with the hydrolyzed by substance, can cause gout. Much of your arthritis that you're feeling. Now when it becomes saturated in the joints, that's when it begins to swell, and then you start getting that inflammation. And the muscles and the stimulates are tendinitis. Anybody can talk about tendinitis? Eye pains. Hydrolyzed vegetable protein is made by boiling certain vegetables for hours. Repeat, hours in vats of sulfuric acid. Let me repeat that. Hydrolyzed vegetable protein, the stuff that you see substance inside of a lot of your foods that you eat, is made by pouring certain vegetables for hours in vats of sulfuric acid, which is then neutralized with caustic sodas. Now, the sludge, when it's being boiled, the sludge is scraped off of the top and then dried to form a powder, which is high in glutamic aspartate. Aspartame, in the gum, okay? And a cysteic acid, C-Y-S-T-E-I-C. Again, neurotoxins, excitotoxins, nerve killers. Now this sludge, once it's scooped up, is a powdered byproduct and contains known carcinogens and dicarboxylic acid, amino acid. Let me get that again. Carcinogens and dicarboxylic, C-A-R-B-O-X-I-L-I-C, D-I-C-A-R-B-O-X-I-L-I-C, dicarbolic, you know what to say. Now, no one knows what this particular effect does in the blood. We can only see the peripheral after effects of this thing happening. Pure MSG, check this. Pure MSG, my sisters, is often added to hydrolyzed powder. In the end, the product is bagged and shipped to food companies where it is added to many foods, including baby foods. Including baby foods. MSG is produced by fermenting food products like molasses. Now, you don't need to be taking no damn molasses either, because molasses is just, you know what? Anybody, brother may have my tape on the, what was it I did? Holistic Health and the Fraud of the New Age. You need to get that tape. Holistic Health and the Fraud of the New Age, when I break down all of the byproducts, filth, and waste products of industry is sold to you as health food. We'll get into that later.
Where's the guns?
Excuse me?
Where's the guns?
The guns? Well, you got to deal with some psychic guns this time. You got to fight them on the warfare where they're getting ready to go. Now, it's a powder like molasses, other useless byproducts of refinement, other products that produce MSG by being refined. Now, check out the products that produce MSG by being refined. Corn, anything you see with corn byproducts, corn starch, all of that. Soybeans, that means the processed tofu. Not the tofu itself, flat, but all the other stuff added up with the tofu. Sugar beets, sugar cane, tapioca, and a whole list of other vegetables which we're going to get to. Now I'm going to talk about the additives that you're going to get, that they have you, I mean, you're going to go home and you're going to put down these additives, and you're going to write them, when you get this tape, write them down, and when you go shopping, take them with you and check the boxes. Check every package that is processed in the health food stores. I went, thought, wow, this shit you can't buy no more. Because the health food stores is full of MSG. Yes. The shit is full of MSG all over, in all of the processed food, and it says organic on it. What we going to do? We're going to get even better. Because if we don't process this information into action, we're fucked. Now, since it is refined from these natural products, here's the way the beasthood works. Since it is refined from these natural products, it could be assumed that it has the same health benefit. Right? The FDA, or the Food and Disease and Assassination Organization, Food for Disease and Assassination, that's the FDA, claims that only a small number of people are sensitive to MSG. Now, Michael Taylor, Deputy of Policy for the FDA, lied on November 4th in 1991 when he was interviewed on 60 Minutes, and he said that only 2% of the American population is MSG reactive, that being about a small amount, similar to, what about, 0.00100th of us? But a chart called Major Causes of Restaurant Syndrome. Now this came out, and they began to post this after this particular news report came out. But there was something called restaurant syndrome that was going around, and they didn't know why people were getting sick, fainting, vomiting in the places. They didn't know what was going on. All right? Now check when you go out to eat in all of these fancy holistic restaurants. You better check with them and ask them if they use these products. Give them the list. Now, it says major causes of restaurant syndrome in January and February release. This is the major cause of 1987. the